Hey Sagittarius, this is Hal for HES Ultimage, and this is your Spirit Tea Leaf forecast for the month of June. Hey guys. So first detail, yes, I am now updating it to being called Spirit Tea Leaf for Tarot Forecast, because I think it's pretty obvious at this point that I'm communicating with Spirit, and, I'm a medium. So I figure, rather than re-explain that I'm, communicating with my spiritual guidance every video, I'll just word it that way so it's a little more obvious. Other than that, other update is that I am offering a few of my readings, in addition to the audio file that you receive for them via Skype Live. It's not all of them, it's like maybe about half. So if you're interested in checking them out, my link is below for all the personal readings and other stuff on my website, like the energy bracelets that I have as well that are really awesome. So that said, fire signs are the lucky ones who get their tea leaf reading, this month. And I'm going to start reintroducing this because I took a little hiatus from it because it does take longer, but it's so much fun, and the tea leaf readings are so special. And I think people who have already seen these before know that and know how strangely intricate they are, and how much fun that is. So I'm reintroducing them in, because I still offer them in personals. I just took a little, month or two off because the prep time was so much. But yeah, I'm trying to get them back in there. So I'm going to just do it by the element now each month. So this month, fire signs get it. All right? Okay, here we go. And as per tradition, I am going to show you the cup, despite the fact that I know you probably won't see anything that's in there or how I would interpret it that way. But there's the cup, so you know what I'm working with, and that I, put in there. You might be able to make out a few. But there we go. Oh, I got this so much better than in the Leo video. Leo video, I was all over the place with the camera trying to angle the cup correctly. But there you go. And that said, I'm going to begin. I always do the interpretations first, because it would take way too long to do them in front of the camera. It just takes too long. It's just me staring into the cup, figuring out what it is, okay? All right, so we are going to get started. And it's interesting because there's a lot happening this month. It looks like there's, I got a big there is for you guys. And it has to do with, goals for the future is a big thing, and, aiming for the next horizon, pretty much. And also, there's certain things with, okay, gotta be honest, with love relationships that seem like they might, or relationships in general that might be a little bit dicey at times. Yeah, but we'll get into those, okay? Yeah. All right, so center is, and center denotes, some of the key energies of the month, so these are the biggies. There's also a very large image that comes later too, which indicates a large energy or large event, so I'll get into that too after. Center of the cup. The one image that came out to me first was one person on a bowed knee, and the other, receiving their hand and offering theirs in exchange. To me, this shows the energy of a proposal or commitment. It does not have to be romantic in any way, shape, or form, so don't just reduce it to that. It's the general energy of proposal or commitment. So someone, you're either making a proposal or making a commitment to someone, something, it's very broad. Then there's a chameleon. Chameleon with his tongue sticking out, towards Saturn, actually. Saturn represents challenges, okay? So that's kind of what makes this particularly cool and funny, because the chameleon is spiting Saturn, and he's kind of going, I got one over on you this time. Yeah, that's right. And it's like the chameleon, he can shift his colors, Chameleons can change color. I feel like this is what you're going to do this month. You're going to help shift your, it's either how you're being perceived, shift how you're being perceived, or shift kind of your shape towards what you've been working towards versus what you're going to work towards, etc., in order to get what you want and to get beyond the challenges you've been facing. Yeah, there we go. Give me a second. because we had a little bit more in here. Oh, and that's the other thing. When it comes to the new horizons and stuff and like overcoming past obstacles, it has to do with the past, okay? That's really important because there was a little image of this person looking at the train tracks, and literally this was what it was. It was a person looking at the train tracks. This was a pretty perfect image, and it represented the concept of nostalgia. It's the idea of, you know, looking back on something and reflecting upon it. It's so that really does show me this idea that like whatever it is about the obstacles you're overcoming now because you made that shift has to do with looking back at something you've already faced. Yep, right. Okay. And there was also like this little person in this vehicle. It was kind of like a spaceship, rocket ship, whatever you want to call it, rising up. And they were actually armed with like artillery. Not something big, just something small. So it shows me that you're like prepared for the future, or you're prepared for what you're moving up towards next. Yeah, there we go. All right, cool. So that is the central energy. We've got a lot more. You guys know this. The tea leaf readings are pretty in-depth. Here we go. What else am I going to look at? Okay. Yeah, we'll just take it from... Oh, yeah, because this is one of the really major images I saw in the cup. Not because of size, but because of the energy coming from it. Between Jupiter and Venus, you'll love this because you're Sagittarius, there was an archer aiming their bow up towards the image of the sunrise, okay? So that represents everything in the future that you're aiming towards, or that new opportunity, new job, new relationship, whatever it is, new opportunity, new event, etc. that you're aiming towards. It shows a lot of confidence. And because it's between Jupiter and Venus, it's between gifts and relationships. So there's something that you're aiming for high above those things into the future that you're going to have a very focused aim on now, because of the fact that it's the energy of the archer who's very confident in what they can do, and even their stance in general was very solid, okay? All right, here we go. Interesting stuff. We do have some things in the snake. I know that's probably people's least favorite area because it means things you need to look out for, even though I can see animosities anywhere in the cup because I can see conflicts between two figures. You have one of those in Venus, actually, but we'll get to that. But in the snake, far, far off, it showed the image of a person pushing off, like a person would push off of a wall in the beginning of a swimming race. Okay, it's the idea that they gain more momentum when they push off the wall. That's in the far future, so it doesn't really have to do, when I see that, it doesn't really have to do about the month, but rather further down, is that this idea that, you know, if it has to do with some of the stuff with the sunrise or other things, it suggests that there might be somebody who's going to try and get momentum over you in some situation, whether it's, you know, job, someone maybe you're trying to procure, relationship or otherwise, or other things like that. That somebody might want to try and get the jump on you. It might not be personally, but it might just be people in general. So just be aware of that for the future, that there might be somebody who wants to get more of a head start or like a jump up in the race towards what you're looking towards as well. Okay, give me a second. Okay, then, oh, and actually now that I think about it, these are very connected. There was also a person on wheels, which again represents the idea of speed, somebody having a sense of direction that they want to get something. So it might be that, you know, whether in June or in the future you might have a little competition. That's not a reason to be, you know, to be discouraged. Just be aware that it exists, so that way when it happens you don't beat yourself up about it. And then there's a person in a bathtub. Yeah, that one was really funny. It's the first time I saw that one. Cause some, yeah, I see more than others, cause I get used to them. But it was a person in a bathtub. To me, that, because it's in the area of the snake, it could represent that somebody is trying to make themselves seem cleaner than they really are, or that they're trying to clean themselves up more in order to procure or ascertain that other thing that you're looking towards. So just also be aware that people are trying to brush themselves up more too in order to be more of a contender. Yeah, there we go. All right, so that's the area of the snake. Nothing too major, just be aware that it's around, okay? That's the idea. Not to live in fear, but to just live in objectivity of knowing that these things can exist, and then you can be more objective and can be more perceptive about their existence, okay? I don't believe in living in fear, all right? Yeah, there we go. All right. Area of the horseshoe. We have a key with legs. This was a really interesting one. And the key with legs, it's opening new opportunities above it. Like, there are little symbols above it showing that it's opening more and more, kind of. So this one's pretty obvious, but horseshoe is actually the area of luck. So it would suggest that there are things in your court in June for Sagittarius that, you know, you will be given some sort of key or some sort of solution or lucky break that's going to help open more opportunities in the future. And again, because it's in a horseshoe, you're pretty much going to receive it by you know, divine intervention and luck. Yeah, so that's a really good thing. It's a nice thing. Just be aware that it exists, because then you'll be able to use it later. You know, you have to realize these are around you in order to make full advantage of all of the things that you get. Okay, here we go. Mercury, lots in Mercury. Mercury, we have a cocoon, because again, there's a lot of like progress energy in your cup right now. To me, it seems like you're moving forward as a person and with your life goals and your career. It feels like a lot of that. It could be relationship too for some of you. I feel like a lot more people, it's kind of life path stuff. The cocoon being in Mercury would suggest to me that more is going to blossom in communications for you. Give me a second, because then I have more. There's a seal ready to do tricks. Sometimes I get a seal with a ball already on his nose. This seal doesn't have the ball yet, but he's ready for it, yeah. Because here's the thing. If the seal representing you in this case is ready to receive the ball to balance, it means you're ready for more to come to you. You're in the state that you're ready to make a play, you know? You're in the game zone, kind of, okay? And it's funny because we had some sports imagery in this one. I always get so many fun images. It's like, I got sports imagery, I got a ninja in the Leo video. We see some fun stuff in there. But the idea is that you're ready for more to be thrown at you because you feel more confident, okay? Yeah. And give me a second, because there was a very, very small telephone in Mercury. That would suggest to me that either phone communication or, you know, good news through communication can come to you. It's going to be a little thing. Like, it feels really little, but it is there, okay? So be aware that you might receive small communications, you know, through a wire, you know, like whether it's a phone or an email, that can give you a little bit of information that might be really helpful. All right, cool. And then the last one, really interesting, was coming from Mars. Mars represents our action and our initiative. There was a little esper, I'm calling it. It was like a spirit, but we don't want to get too up into it because it was just this very small essence, really. And it's coming from Mars. And it was coming from, oh, here we go. Give me 1 second, because I knew from an action source or a center of an action. The idea is that your communications will gain a blessing of some kind, or a blessing that you can't see, though. It's a blessing that just comes in. It's like an energy, okay? Like, again, I'm calling it an esper. It's like a source of energy or an aura of energy that enters into your communications because you did something this month, okay? So that's what it is, because the source of the action is going to be what's motivating this energy entering. Yeah, cool. Just wanted to make sure I got that one. I felt like I was in the right place, but they just confirmed it for me. All right, cool. Okay, awesome. So that covered Mars too. We're doing pretty good, guys. We've got some more. Saturn, very interesting. Saturn actually had this little animal parade coming from the bottom of it, the root of it, towards the sun. I found this actually really encouraging because Saturn usually represents challenges, but this little animal parade seemed very joyous, and it was coming into the sun. Sun has to do with your personal expression. I feel like you're gaining things back. It's like, for some reason, whatever happened in Saturn, now there's something joyous that's resulting from it, and then it's giving you a boost of your confidence and a boost of your sense of self. Yeah, and that's like really, really positive. Then there's another thing in Saturn, which is a small bird that's watching this little showdown, because we love our teacup showdowns, don't we? Wait till you hear the figures in this showdown. It's pretty fun. So here we go. And remember, though, the bird watching is in Saturn. This means there's going to be a spectator towards this argument, fight, or conflict that occurs. So be aware that somebody is watching this conflict, okay? Because then they might cause a little more friction by putting their 2 cents in or telling other people about it and getting other people involved, because it has to do with relationships, okay? And relationships with Venus can be friendships, relationships, etc. Guess what the showdown is? It's Godzilla versus, I believe the name of the creature was Rodan, okay? So Godzilla's that, you know, for people who don't know Godzilla, because I don't know who doesn't, is that, like, large reptilian monster that terrorizes cities. And Rodan is the giant pterodactyl figure, I believe, or, like, kind of monster pterodactyl creature. And I believe they've... I love this. I made it sound so academic. I believe they've fought before. I believe they have fought before in films or something like that. I mean, I had to download this information from somewhere, right? Usually the best way for me to see a symbol is to be able to cognate it with something I'm familiar with. But that being in Venus shows me you're going to be having some sort of conflict, showdown, or disagreement with somebody else. And it could be a friend, it could be a lover, it could be a family member. But there is going to be a showdown. There's going to be somebody watching it, and that person watching can cause a little more trouble than there needs to be. So just be aware that they are watching, so that way if they try and interject and it's not helpful, you'll understand why, okay? All right. Okay. Oh, and this is so important to the sun because I forgot to mention this when I was talking about that animal parade that's going in. Remember that, like, kind of joyous energy leaving Saturn and moving into the sun, giving you more confidence, more of a sense of yourself, self-worth increasing, more joy increasing in that area. We also have a relic in the sun. And it was like this ancient artifact, basically. And that shows me that you're reclaiming something when it comes to your sense of self, yeah, and your sense of being, all right? So something is being reclaimed here in June for Sagittarius, okay? And it's going to be something that I believe was always there, but you're getting it back now, all right? Because, again, the animal parade is leaving Saturn and like entering the sun again. So that means something that used to be a challenge is now departing from a challenge and now becoming some sort of, like, personal celebration, yeah? Okay, cool. I might as well finish with the Godzilla and Rodan showdown, because there was one other element here that suggested the same energy. It's tied together. In the area of between the moon and Venus, moon being emotions, Venus being, again, your relationships, friendships, family, etc. It was the Eiffel Tower with a football on top of it, because we love our complex images where one thing leads into another. The football to me represents the idea of contact, like contact sport or confrontation, but they wanted me to stress the idea that it's like flag football, so it doesn't hurt so much. I wrote down minor injuries, which they were satisfied with. So it's like the idea that if you're going to have an argument or a confrontation with someone you love, whether that's a friend or a lover, you might have some scratches or bruises, but it's nothing too serious. It's nothing you need to be held up for, emotionally speaking, you know that. So understand that. And the Eiffel Tower to me actually suggested the idea of romance or like sweetness or sweet feelings. So it might be that somebody doesn't feel like they're being treated sweet enough or being romanced enough or being attended to enough. That's it. That's the one. So if the person in your life or you, because it could flip either way, I think it's going to be, yeah, hold on. Yeah, it can be both. It can be either or here. If one of you doesn't feel like you're getting enough attention or being attended to enough or being appreciated enough, because when I think of Paris and romance, I also think of being appreciated, being attended to, being not pampered, but the area where you feel warm and where you feel like nice and it's a comfort. I think that's really the energy that's being fought for here. And like the idea is to engage. You should engage because you need to have an honest conversation together. But remember, don't make it so aggressive, because again, it's a game of flag football. Okay, it's not supposed to be heavy contact. Okay, you're in contact, but you're not supposed to be too aggressive with each other that you seriously hurt each other. Okay, minor injuries at most is all we want here, which is you being honest but not being hurtful. Yeah, there we go. And then last symbol, guys, last symbol is in Jupiter, which is gifts, and it's a big one. It's a big gift. It's a woman presenting a basket, okay? So it seems like you're going to be receiving something in June that's going to be something, substantial, like a nice gift from someone or something or through a situation. The gift can even be something more, emotional, spiritual, but a big gift is going to be given to you, or a gift's going to be given to you in a big way, basically. Yep. So there you have it. That said, I do personal readings. If you want one, hit the link below. Hope you do, and I'm sure you will be having an awesome June. See you later, guys.